Recognize our board chair, Mr. Atkins, is also here, and we're also joined by Ms. Poe and Ms. Carly Jones, the staff here, all of whom significantly helped with the proposed budget. So tonight, it is my pleasure to present the proposed FY27 fiscal plan and the proposed FY27 through FY31 capital improvement plan. Municipal budgeting is inherently a balancing act between funding priorities with finite available resources. So for this year in Charles City County, that balance required particular disciplined evaluation as we continue to address rising costs, constrained revenues, and that's inclusive of federal, state, and local sources, and the continued recovery from the county's prior period of material illiquidity. Back in June, when I assumed the role of county administrator, I committed in general to some guiding principles. These principles are transparency, responsibility, and responsiveness. The proposed budget that is now posted online and available for public review adheres to all those commitments, and it establishes a clear framework for sustainable financial stewardship moving forward. As you can see on the screen now, the FY27 budget fund summary across all funds totals $48.4 million. This is an increase of 16% over the FY26 adopted budget of $41.6 million. This increase, as you will also note, is largely driven by strategic infrastructure investments included in our capital fund. These investments are essential to the county's long-term stability and growth. At each Board of Supervisors meeting, my team and I have provided information related to the county's overall financial picture. One of the recurring themes has been comments for the need to implement best practices. This budget that is before you has been developed in adherence to sound financial practices. All funds of the county are accurately reflected, inclusive of revenue and expenditure details. All revenues equal expenditures, complying with the legal requirement to have a balanced budget. Structural balance has also been achieved, as one-time revenues are reserved exclusively for non-recurring expenditures. No use of unassigned fund balance was used to achieve balance in this budget, marking a critical departure from prior practices. In addition, on the operating side, the proposed fiscal plan includes clearly presented capital improvement plan projects, allowing for long-term strategic planning and investment. Additionally, the document that is before you has been prepared in accordance with the Government Finance Officers Association Distinguished Budget Presentation Award criteria, reflecting our commitment to excellence in financial reporting. The GFOA established the Distinguished Budget Presentation Awards program back in 1984 to encourage and assist state and local governments in preparing budget documents that are the very highest of quality and that reflect both the guidelines of the National Advisory Council on State and Local Budgeting, as well as GFOA's own best practices on budgeting. Then recognize individual governments that succeed in achieving that goal. To be an award recipient is to be recognized for transparency in budgeting. To earn this recognition, budget documents must meet all program criteria and excel as a policy document, a financial plan, an operations guide, and a communication tool. The FY27 budget that is proposed is built on the current real estate tax rate of 69 cents per $100 of the existing assessed values. For additional context, at present, 1 penny equals approximately $103,000 in revenue. In total, our general fund real property tax makes up nearly 35% of all general fund revenue. When we factor in personal property and other related taxes, that percentage jumps up to nearly 50%. So as I've stated earlier, in prior years, the county has relied on one-time revenues to fund reoccurring expenses. This practice is not only unsustainable, but is not best practice. The proposed FY27 budget corrects that course. And with that, we must also recognize opportunities to improve our overall revenue collection. Over the past 10 years, the county has seen a steady decline in tax collection rates. Highlighted on the chart, you can see recent property tax collection rates averaging around 91%. The result of this tax collection rate decline amounts to millions in outstanding delinquent revenue, funds that the county has needed to support ongoing operations. So while the historical collection trends are alarming, I am optimistic that working collaboratively with our Treasurer and Commissioner of Revenue, we will be able to prioritize improving on-time collections as well as aggressively addressing our delinquent accounts. This year's budget process is also unique as it will coincide with the fiscal year 2027 real estate reassessment. And while the county's 2027 real estate reassessment is delayed and operationally challenging, it is important to note that this process is separate and distinct from the budget process. As real property tax is the county's largest single revenue source, tracking growth in assessed values will be crucial to our long-term financial sustainability. On the expenditure side in fiscal 27, the proposed budget reflects disciplined spending and strategic prioritization. In the general fund, targeted reductions in operational efficiencies have been implemented across all departments and agencies. One major update you will see in the document is the consolidation of our fire and EMS operations into the general fund to align with our annual comprehensive financial report. Additionally, the county's debt obligations are now fully detailed and accounted for within the debt service agency. In the general fund, many agencies saw level or reduced funding for fiscal 27. Now, while I stress that this spending plan is a significant improvement, our evaluation of service levels and right sizing must continue in the upcoming fiscal year. In addition to our long-term obligations being included in the debt service agency, a debt amortization schedule has also been included in the appendix section of the budget document. The sanitary district, or our utilities fund, has historically operated at a deficit, placing an unplanned burden on the general fund and our unassigned fund balance. The FY27 proposed budget addresses this issue head-on, reflecting planned deficit operations with a general fund transfer. Additionally, county utility operation costs are reduced by 45% through the outsourcing of maintenance, as well as significant capital investments in our utility infrastructure. The majority of the $8 million capital fund supports utility infrastructure improvement projects. Additional capital projects in our capital fund also support the completion of the circuit courtroom, and vehicle needs for both the county and Charles City County Public Schools. The county's contribution to Charles City County Public Schools is the single largest expenditure we make on an annual basis. For fiscal year 27, CCPS requested an additional $1.4 million in local contributions, primarily for 10% teacher salary increases. So my team and I have had the pleasure of working collaboratively with our superintendent and her team, as well as we've heard the request from the school board at a joint work session with the Board of Supervisors and a formal presentation at our regular Board of Supervisors meeting. So we understand and recognize the needs that effectively support our public school system. The FY27 proposed budget supports a 5% increase in CCPS funding over the FY26 levels, and 12% above the state-mandated minimum local contribution. Further, the fiscal 27 proposed budget contemplates delaying a funding of an additional $1 million for school operations, again primarily for teacher salary increases, pending the results of our fiscal 27 real estate reassessment and tax rate adjustment process. In the DSS fund, enhancements have been made to support the county food pantry operations, as well as accurate accounting of all costs have been included for our broadband and our grant funds, respectively. The fiscal 27 through 31 capital improvement plan is detailed in our fiscal plan document. As you see the summary that is on the screen now, all projects have been included with descriptions as well as dedicated funding sources. In closing this evening, this budget represents more than a financial plan. It establishes a new foundation for Charles City County. It restores fiscal discipline, strengthens transparency, and positions the county to make informed, sustainable solutions for the years ahead. We undoubtedly have more work to do as we pursue a sustainable future. So I want to again thank the county staff and the Board of Supervisors for their professionalism and diligence in preparing this proposal. And I certainly want to thank you, members of the community, for all of your input that helped inform the decisions that we made in the proposed fiscal plan. As we go through this budget process, I want to remind everyone about the upcoming dates. On yesterday, the proposed budget was presented to the Board of Supervisors. This evening, we are gathered here together to receive that same presentation amongst the community. Also, the complete fiscal plan is available for inspection in the county administrator's office, as well as the full plan has been posted to the county's website. On April the 7th, we will host the board will have a budget work session, which will be another opportunity to hear deliberation and questions and answers related to the budget. And on April the 9th, we will have a budget community Q&A, where after you all have had time to review the document and develop questions, we will be before you to answer any questions that the community may have about the budget document. Then on April 16th, the County Board of Supervisors will have a public hearing on the budget. I want to make note that this public hearing will be on the county budget as well as on the local contribution to Charles City County Public Schools. That will be on Thursday, April the 16th. And then on April the 28th, at the regularly scheduled Board of Supervisors meeting, all of the necessary budget ordinances will be before the Board of Supervisors for their action. So again, I want to thank the community for your commitment and for coming out this evening. I look forward to seeing you throughout the month of April as we continue our budget deliberations. The full document is posted on our website and available here for inspection in hard copy. And I'm looking forward to the process and getting through this year's fiscal 27 budget season. Thank you.